So every issue of LPR um, features one visual artist, at least, but especially one visual artist. And this issue is featuring Peter Bruun, who will be our next presenter. He's an artist, educator, curator, and community activist in the arts. Bruun received a BA in art history from Williams College in 1985 and went on to receive an MFA in 1989 from the Maryland Institute College of the Arts, MICA. In Maryland, he pursued curatorial and community activism with initiatives such as the New Day campaign and Art on Purpose. And he continued his studio practice with such projects as Autumn Leaves and Beyond Beautiful, 1000 Love Letters. In 2019, he moved to Maine, where he continues to work as an artist. And this is where he's joining us from. Peter, thank you so much for being here. And I'd love to share your work with everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Chelsea. I'm grateful to be here, and I appreciate the Little Patuxent Review for including me. Grateful to Anne Bracken, who did the interview that's in the issue. And right now I'm going to share several of the works of art which are included in the publication and share the backstories behind those. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to start by sharing my screen. So let's do that. And I'm going to go to this slideshow. So this is a photograph of, well, let me start by saying the theme of the works I selected to be published is art for healing. And art for me has always had an healing aspect, and never more so than the past several years. This is a photograph of my daughter, Elisif, who 7 years ago, when she was 24 years old, died of an overdose. And when that happened, I ended up making a lot of art about that in the past couple of years, especially. And the drawing I'm going to share is one of those in the magazine, which is, I think of it as one in a series of memorial drawings where I really go straight into the trauma of losing Elisif. So this is the drawing, and it's my drawing and my writing in combination. I'm going to read what it says. Your light was on all night. A rough night for you, your dorm mate would think. Each time she awoke during her own restless night, seeing your window across the way. But your night was not restless. You stretched out on your floor, abrasion on your chin. I sleep as the world passes. Somewhere, a young woman still awake after 36 hours, labors, gives birth, too far along by the time she makes it to the hospital for an epidural. Her husband, in his own haze of exhausted bewilderment, has trouble sorting out the beige from the pink from the purple, wondering in a momentary panic if his wife's entire insides are coming out with their firstborn. But no, only the umbilical cord causing some minor trouble, quickly attended to by the alert midwife with a snip of surgical scissors. Mom and dad instantaneously know what it means to love so much you'll lay your life down. Somewhere, a father sits in a polka-dotted chair, too small, his 6-year-old daughter in his hunched lap, coughing. She does not sleep, and all the Robitussin under the moon is useless. He holds her and rocks her all night long. As you lay there, no breath on your lips, the world passes. Somewhere a little girl has been drinking and peeing too much. Wife and husband lie in bed, fearful of tomorrow. He gently runs his hand up and down her spine, whispering all the while, whatever happens. Somewhere, everywhere, fates are in motion, the world a hive of bees, everywhere, anywhere, people lie awake, wondering at the next day, laughing, losing their virginity, noticing the lump on their breast, the strange-looking mole on their arm. Sons and daughters are born. A nurse goes off duty. Somewhere, a girl lies prone and sleepless. light on all night long. I slept through the tumble of your body, the clunk of your weight. So that's one of probably about 36 drawings that I've made that go through the past number of years since my daughter died. As I say, I've always done art for healing, and this is a painting that also has to do with Ella Sif, but it's a much older painting. In the previous one, I made reference to her drinking and peeing, or rather, yeah, drinking water and peeing too much. And when she was 6 years old, she got diabetes. This is called Dad, and I'm actually about to launch my new website, Bruun Studios. And one of the things I'm doing with Bruun Studios is having online exhibitions, and this painting is featured in the inaugural online exhibition called Grace. And this next slide is just an image from that exhibition. And I'm just going to read this one excerpt. On a family ski trip in the winter of 1995, Peter's daughter, Liz, she used to call herself Liz, was constantly thirsty and had to pee all the time. A worried call to the family pediatrician and immediate urine test delivered a dreaded diagnosis. Liz had developed type 1 diabetes, a lifelong and potentially fatal disease. Inconceivably, the shadow of mortality had fallen on Peter's bright spark of a daughter, and he was helpless to prevent it. So I'm going to leave out what the painting has to do with that story, but it actually has everything to do with the story. So I encourage you to actually visit the website once it's up, or I'm doing my own launch on June 24th of the website, where we'll be talking about that story. Why is this not progressing? There we go. This, not all my artwork has to do with my daughter, Ella Sif. This is my stepfather, and this also is part of the exhibition Grace in the Bruun Studios website. This is the first slide of the story having to do with a drawing I made. J. Player Crosby, 61, of 137 Jerusalem Road, died Thursday of an apparent heart attack as he was flying his single-engine airplane. That led me to make a series of drawings within 2 weeks of his death. He died on June 16th, 2003. This drawing was done July 1st, 2003. And in this drawing, what you've got is a ostensibly perfectly round, kind of cerulean blue sphere, which for me stands in for a body, a vessel of some sort. But you see at the top what I think of as a caesura, or a kind of flaw, a break, an opening. And what I was thinking about when I made this drawing, and what I thought about when I made a series of drawings like this, is this tradition from Native American and Central American cultures, where you find in burial tombs perfectly good bowls with holes pierced in them. They're broken. The idea being to release the soul, or indicate that you're now dealing with a broken vessel. And that's what I was thinking about in making those drawings. And here you can see the relationship between the drawing and the bowl. I want to add that so much of my work for about 30 years was based on self-portraiture. So if you look at the drawing on the left, you can see little flicks of charcoal mark making. Those are actually marks made from me looking in the mirror. And the blue circle is me kind of connecting the dots in a way, but rather than doing nose, eyes, mouth, ears, I'm just kind of creating the idea of a body, the idea of a presence, the idea of a being. And so metaphorically, they can take on all kinds of meanings. And that's the meaning that this one took on. There's a little bit of white in this drawing, which is white gouache painting out some of the black marks. And a sort of happy accident in this drawing is it feels almost like a ghost presence, which lends itself, of course, to the intention of the drawing. This is one of 8 drawings, I think they're about 22 by 30 inches. They're gouache, which is a kind of opaque watercolor on paper. And this is from a series I call just Big Crying. And really, it's about crying. It's about tears. It's about, you know, I often think of grief as like a gurgling brook or a spring that doesn't stop, and you constantly need to bail it out. And I think tears and expression and art are a way to do that bailing work. And for me, art offers a tremendous release, tremendous healing, and it even brings a kind of, you know, I mean, the reason the first exhibition on my website is called Grace is because art delivers grace. I think of art as a prayer asked and a prayer answered all at once. And these are just a few examples of that. And of course, I'll have more, you know, once my website goes live. Thank you so much for your interest. I wish I could talk about the other artworks in the magazine, which I don't have time to do, but I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has at any point. And I'll put a link in to where you can sign up if you're interested in my kickoff event. I'll put a link in the chat box for everyone. Okay.
Peter, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. And I was just about to put that link as well. It's 8 days that it's launching. Is that correct? 8 days that your website will be ready for viewing?
Unmute. Yep, that's correct. It'll be June 24th at 4 p.m. We'll do something like this, and we'll do a tour of the website, but a deeper dive into the Grace exhibition, where it's not just my art. I've got 6 other participants, including a playwright, while we're talking about writing. And the idea is to, you know, really look at grace as a concept in relationship to art of all kinds.